Now, let's begin our analysis of financial markets. So up until now, we've been discussing the goods market. Now, let's look at the equilibrium in the financial market. Equilibrium in the financial market. Now, when we talk about financial market, we are talking about the market, or let me even call it money market. We are talking about the market in which there is demand and supply of money. All right, so let's talk about the money market. There is demand and supply. So in this market, there is demand and supply of money. Now let's start with money demand. Let's start with money demand. Now, what is money demand? Money demand is simply the willingness to hold money. The willingness to hold money, all right? The willingness to hold money. When we're talking about money demand, it is people's willingness to hold money. Now, why do people want to hold money? Number one, because they want to embark on transactions. Number two, people want to hold money because of precaution. Number three, people want to hold money because of speculations. So people usually desire to hold money because of transactions, because of precautions, and because of speculation. Now, you see, it is almost impossible to measure precaution, all right, as a factor that determines money demand. It is, statistically, it is difficult to measure precautionary motive for holding money at the national level. We can't measure that. It's difficult to do so. Again, when it comes to speculations, people hold money against any possible opportunity so that they go and put the money in there. So people are holding money because of speculations, all right? Speculations in terms of they are checking whether there is any possible, avenue for them to go and put their money in. They are also checking whether something might happen in the future. So if people think that the future is not going to do well, it would affect their willingness to hold money. If they think that if in the future there's going to be an economic fortune, that also has a way of affecting their willingness to hold money. So in fact, speculations are also a reason. People speculate for so many things. So speculation is also a reason why people would want to demand money. But you see, as I said, among these three, transactions is the one which is easier to measure, okay? Because for precautions, if people hold money for precautions, on what basis are we going to measure the money that was held for precautions? On what basis? If people are holding money because of speculations, on what basis are we going to measure how they were holding the money for speculations? So the three motives for holding money: transactions, precautions, and speculations. The one that is easier to measure is that of the transactions. Now, how are we going to measure money demand in terms of transactions? We are going to measure money demand in terms of transactions in the sense that we are going to measure it using national income. Because if you want to look at the total amount of transactions that has occurred in a year in an economy, the best way of measuring it is using national income. The best way of measuring transactions that has occurred in a year is using national income. All right, it's using national income. Now, if people are holding money, okay, and they see that interest rate has risen, all right, it will reduce the ability to hold money. Remember, money demand is the willingness to hold money either in paper or coins, okay? But once interest rate goes up, what am I holding my money for? I'll go and invest it there. I can make a financial investment. Think about it. If I desire to hold money in my hands because of transactions, and then now interest rate has gone up. I'm talking about interest rate in terms of financial investment. It has gone up. I'll go and put my money in that financial investment than to hold the money. What am I holding it for? If I'm holding it, I am losing out. So then, always, whenever interest rate goes up, okay, people would shift their funds, or they would not want to hold the money in their hands. All right. So they will always put that money into some kind of financial investment. So in total, if you look at the money demand formula, okay, if you look at the money demand formula is equal to income, which represents the transactional motive, okay, minus the interest rate, minus the interest rate. So always, money demand is a function, let me put it this way for better mathematical analysis. It's a function of income and then negative interest rate, because interest rate will reduce money demand. But the income or the number of transactions, or if the number of transactions in the year that has occurred is too much, it means that that year people demanded money a lot. Okay. So if the transaction that occurred in a year is so much, it means that that year people demanded more money. So the transactions in a year has a positive relationship with money demand, but the by interest rate, when it is high, the money demand will be low in terms of the fact that people will not be willing to hold money in their hands. They will rather put it in an investment, right? Okay. So that is money demand. Now, if we put this on a graph, it means that we will have the two factors here. We will have the interest rate here, and then we will have the quantity of money here, all right? So there is always an inverse relationship between the interest rate and then money demand curve. The higher the interest rate, the lower the money demand, right? The higher the interest rate, the lower the money demand. So there is always an inverse relationship. Now remember, in the financial market, it is not only money demand that exists. There's also an aspect of the money market or the financial market that we call money supply. I think you've learned in microeconomics that a market is not a physical meeting place. A market is the interaction between demand and supply. So when you are talking about money market, there must be supply of money. Now, what is supply of money? Now, supply of money is the total amount of money in circulation. So we are talking about supply of money is the total amount of money in circulation. Now, unlike money demand, money supply is exogenously determined by central bank. So the central bank is the one which is charged with the duty of determining the amount of money in circulation. If they think the amount of money in circulation is too much, they will bring what we call contractionary monetary policy that will absorb the money from the system. If they think the amount of money in the system is too small, okay, they will bring what we call expansionary monetary policy, all right, to increase the amount of money in the system. Okay. And we all know some of the monetary policy tools that can be used. Okay. Some of the monetary policy tools to control money supply. We have the open market operation. That is OMO, open market operation. We have the reserve requirement ratio. We have the monetary policy rate. All right, and many others. Monetary policy rate and many others. Now, this means that once we draw the money supply curve, let's watch it carefully. So here is quantity of money, here is interest rate. Now remember that money supply is exogenously determined by central bank. Okay, so the money supply curve will be vertical. When the money supply curve is vertical, what it means is that no matter the interest rate, no matter the interest rate, money supply is still constant. No matter the interest rate, money supply is still constant. No matter the interest rate, money supply is still constant because money supply decisions are exogenously determined by central bank. And it has nothing to do with the interest rate. Now let's put the two of them together. Money demand and money supply. Let's put the two of them together. Money demand and money supply. Now, if we draw the curves, where we have money demand and money supply, which is exogenously determined. All right, money, so here is quantity of money, and this is the interest rate. So this is money demand, and this is money supply. Now, what does this mean? If you do analysis, you realize that in a year that money demand increases, okay, holding money supply constant. When money demand increases, the implication is that the amount of money people wish to hold in their hands has become bigger than the amount of money that is in circulation. So when money demand is bigger than money supply, it means that the amount of money people want to hold in their hands is bigger than the amount of money that is in circulation. So definitely, interest rate would have risen because of that. Okay, interest rate will rise. Now, remember also that when we want to draw an interest rate and income curve, all right, this first curve, let me name this curve A, this graph, let me name it A. A is the equilibrium in the financial market from interest rate and quantity of money perspective. Okay. Now I want to do this same equilibrium from interest rate and income perspective. We want to do the same equilibrium from interest rate and income perspective. Now let's assume that the interest rate was at I0. Okay. Let's assume that the interest rate is at I0. That would mean that the income might be at Y0. Okay. Now, if money demand increases, what would have caused the money demand to increase? Remember that money demand is a function of transactions. So it means that if income increases from Y0 to, let's say Y1, okay, it will make money demand shift from MD0 to MD1. Remember that transactions has a positive relationship with money demand. So the more the transactions, the more the money demand. So let's say if income increases from Y0 to Y1, What it means is that it will make money demand shift from MD0 towards MD1. All right. So from this perspective, when income increase from Y0 to Y1, it will make money demand increase from MD0 to MD1, which will make the interest rate increase from I0 to I1. So you have something like this. So we have interest rates at I1, okay, against income at I1. Now, when we draw a curve through this, we call it the LM curve. The LM curve. This is the LM curve. The name LM is actually called liquidity money supply curve. All right. In economics, when we say liquidity, it means money demand. Money demand is liquidity, but the person who propounded the curve wishes to call it liquidity or money demand. So he calls it liquidity money supply curve. That is why it is called LM curve, liquidity money supply curve. That is the LM curve. Now, from this, we can see that anytime income changes, okay, anytime income changes, money demand will also change. Or anytime the transactions, remember, transaction is the same as income. I mentioned it earlier. So anytime income changes, the money demand will shift. Holding money supply constant, interest rates will rise. And if interest rates rise, there will be a movement along the LM. So in simple terms, the only factor that causes a movement along the LM curve is the interest rate. Okay, it is the changes in interest rates that causes the movement along the LM curve. It is only changes in interest rates that causes a movement along the LM curve. Changes in interest rates causes movement along the LM curve. And that changes in interest rate is caused by changes in income, which reflects in changes in money demand. Okay, so the changes in interest rate is caused by changes in income that is reflected through changes in money demand, which will lead to changes in interest rates. Okay, if you are following me carefully, you should understand what I'm saying. So this is the LM curve. Now, we may also be interested in the factors that causes a bodily shift in the LM curve. The factors that causes a bodily shift in the LM curve. All right. Now, this means that for that factor to cause a bodily shift in the LM curve, what it means is that that factor should have nothing to do with interest rates. So it is the factor that can cause a change in income, but will not cause a change in interest rates. Okay. So it means that at the same interest rate, we can have an increase in income. At the same interest rate, we can have an increase in income. All right. At the same interest rate, we can have an increase in income. Now, what will cause that increase in income at the same interest rate? The answer is simple. The answer is because of money supply. So once there is an increase in money supply, let's listen carefully. Once there's an increase in money supply, money will become too much in the hands of people. So once money becomes too much in the hands of people, it will lead to increase in aggregate expenditure. And once aggregate expenditure increases at equilibrium, aggregate income will increase. Once at equilibrium, aggregate income is going to increase. Once aggregate expenditure increases. So once there is money in the hands of people, okay, as a result of increase in money supply, what it means is that there will be an increase in aggregate expenditure. Because if money supply is too much in the system, it will increase aggregate expenditure, aggregate demand. Remember, I told you this, that one of the ways of influencing aggregate demand is to increase money supply. So once money supply increases, aggregate demand will increase. Once aggregate demand increases or aggregate expenditure increases, the equilibrium national income is going to increase. So then, in simple terms, Increases in money supply will lead to an increase in income without affecting interest rates. Increase in money supply will lead to increase in income without affecting interest rates. Increases in money supply through the channel of aggregate expenditure will lead to increases in income without affecting the interest rate. So in simple terms, the factors that causes a shift in the LM curve is as a result of monetary policy. Okay, the factor that causes a shift in the LM curve is because of monetary policy. The factor that causes a shift in the LM curve is because of monetary policy. Because monetary policy will increase income without increasing interest rates. All right. And it can increase income because it could do so through increases in aggregate expenditure. Okay. So we've learned two things now. One of the things we have learned is that changes in fiscal policy leads to a shift in the IS curve, but changes in monetary policy leads to a shift in the LM curve. All right. So finally, I'm going to talk about ISLM. We are putting the two of them together. All right. We are putting the two of them together.